It's only 22% of all the deal flow that actually is coming from teams that are gender diverse. It's untapped potential. So more than 30% of the founder shares are owned by diversity members. Those companies are better performing than the others. Female founders don't need advice. They just need to be supported and financed. That's all. We've invested in 9 startups so far, and they're already demonstrating KPIs that are over benchmarks. If the companies have a culture that fosters, then they have more success penetrating other countries. We're going to support exclusively tech teams led by men and women and demonstrate that they're going to overperform.
Estás entrando en Rivela, universo TPG, mujeres que rompen barreras y cambian el mundo. ¿Te has planteado por qué la diversidad es importante en los negocios y en la vida? Hoy descubrimos un fondo que la tiene como tesis de inversión. Sí, como lo oyes. Y ahora, a ladrar. Wof, wof.
So please introduce yourself, what's your name and what do you do?
So hi, I'm Isabel from Sister Fund. So I'm managing partner. So we invest in gender diverse tech teams across Europe at early stage. So we do pre-seed, seed, Series A. Typical investment ticket size is between 500K up to 5 mil at start with follow-on capacity. And we invest in deep tech, health, anything related to fintech and insurtech in their inclusive angle, and sustainability at large. So it means not only environmental, but also economic and societal sustainability. And the reason why we invest in gender diverse teams is that all studies around the world demonstrate that when the team is diverse, and it includes all types of diversity, but we can only tackle the gender diversity in Europe due to regulations. When it includes all types of diversity, if this diversity is has a share of voice, so more than 30% of the founder shares are owned by diversity members, so women for us, then those companies are better performing than the others.
Do you have data, like a specific data from your fund that shows that?
No one has demonstrated that at a fund level yet. So that's what we're trying to demonstrate. But all the studies that I was referring to are, led by very prestigious consulting companies such as, BCG, McKinsey, showing reports on exactly those big stamps that you like. And so they have all shown exactly the same thing, but no one has proven it operationally before. And so what we're trying to do is demonstrate the goal is to have a 100 million fund. Currently we're at 70 million. So we're, about to be there. And so we're going to support exclusively tech teams led by men and women and demonstrate that they're going to overperform. For now, we've invested in 9 startups so far, and they're already demonstrating, KPIs that are over benchmarks. And the only KPI that we can follow at this stage, which is the level of fundraising and the pace between fundraising rounds. So, we already have an outperforming portfolio. We just need to show it at, a statistical angle that it matters.
Cool.
Este episodio ha sido grabado gracias a Impulse for Women y Bebes Café, el mejor café de especialidad de España. Suscríbete, apóyanos y guicha sus webs que están en nuestra descripción, porque nosotros lo valemos.
Regarding to those startups, what will be your favorite one?
I don't have a favorite one, obviously. No, I think that the power of those teams, because I used to be an investor before, and not only looking at gender diverse team, looking at all teams. And it's only 22% of all the deal flow that actually is coming from teams that are gender diverse or that are female-led. So 78% of all the deals are just men-led. And so that used to be, the portrait of people that I was meeting with. And since I joined Sister Fund, I've been meeting only with gender diverse team. And I can definitely tell you that on average, they seem more driven towards diversity of opinion, which for me, and again, the surveys shows it, is a source of more innovation. And so if you have more innovation because you have a diversity of opinion around the table, then you have better chances of succeeding, right?
There are better products, and also you will be able to create something in a wider range of people. So we were speaking about that with Nuria Pastor, which is an amazing founder. She has developed a product in healthcare. She has patients from teenagers to 91, and they use it. They use the product, and that's amazing just because of the diversity.
Yeah, well, you can definitely augment your addressable market with more diversity, and it's been shown all over the world, right? If the companies have a culture that fosters diversity, then they have more success in, for instance, penetrating other countries because they already have that, DNA included in them. If you're too centric around your country of origin, for instance, it's way harder to expand internationally, and so your chances of succeeding and becoming a global category leader are, very much hindered. All benefits.
Y tanto. Según McKinsey, los equipos ejecutivos con diversidad étnica y cultural tienen hasta un 39% más de probabilidad de ser rentables, porque entienden mucho mejor a los clientes en diferentes países y culturas. Lógica, ¿verdad?
It's the only thing lacking is financing because those teams are largely underfunded.
¿Sabías que menos del 2,4% del capital del Venture Capital se asigna a startups con fundadores de color y latinos en Europa y Estados Unidos? Y la presencia se reduce a 1,7 y 1,3 respectivamente. Los datos son bastante heavies. La falta de diversidad no solo afecta a las mujeres.
So for us, it's a great opportunity because it's untapped potential. So you have great talent, greater talent than what's out there on average, and underfunded talent. So, our job is just to find them and to support them, and in a non-condescending way, because I hear a lot like, how are you going to support and advise female founders differently than men? We don't need, female founders don't need advice. They just need to be supported and financed. That's all.
In a while, that's true because we are not so risky. When we do smaller steps, it's like that we are more secure than the others. And that's, I've heard from other people that definitely women, when they decide something, is because they know what they do. And also, there is another problem with that. Women, they underrated their startups comparing to male. Have you heard about that? Because there is statistics also about that.
Again, I think that, there's a lot of intuitions around women and stereotypes around women that are sometimes true, sometimes are not. And I'd rather not, propel those stereotypes around. What I'm focused on is, finding the most exceptional teams out there that have those exceptional women. And what I've been feeling, from interacting with those females is that, in tech, there are so many obstacles and challenges for a woman to actually, be successful. I find that when they do get there, and when we do meet, they're on average, they tend to be more skillful than the average men. And so, yes and no about those stereotypes, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that women are, can demonstrate ambition, can demonstrate a lot of things, and they're here to be successful. And they have better chances of being successful if, we finance them adequately, which is the big problem at the moment.
Y ahora hablemos un poco de sesgos e interpretaciones asimétricas por parte de inversores. En el estudio Financing the Next VC-Backed Startup, The Role of Gender, no encuentran diferencias significativas en calidad ni en experiencia entre fundadores, hombres y mujeres. Las diferencias de financiación reflejan tratamientos desiguales, no diferencias objetivas. Sesgos alert. También dicen que, real not fun fact, tras un fracaso, las mujeres tienen 22,5% menos de probabilidades de fundar una startup, respaldada por Venture Capital. Y si lo hacen, recaudan un 53,3% menos que sus cofundadores hombres. Investor bias alert again, heavy. Pero atento, que no nos quedamos solos ahí. Al parecer, cuando una mujer fracasa después de montar su startup, esto tiene un efecto rebote y provoca una reducción en la financiación que los inversores otorgan a otras mujeres fundadoras no relacionadas, entre un 6,7 y un 7,5%. Y sin embargo, cuando hay un exit, eso no genera efectos positivos. ¿Cómo te quedas?
You are here, you are helping with that, so that's good. Any recommendation for the founders that are actually trying to fund?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's this new generation of funds out there, Sister Fund being one of them, but, there are others as well that have non-biased way of looking at startups, of evaluating them. And I feel like founders should reach out for them and, definitely be picky on the investors that they want to choose in their cap table. I think that founders need to understand it's their choice who they invite at the table, and it's not the opposites. Like, people should fight for them. It's up to them to choose who they want on their side and to add value and to understand how their diversity brings actually overperformance and and increased chances of success.
What would you ask to the future you?
I would really like to know, when it actually works. I have no doubt on if it's going to work. of course it's gonna work. I'm just a bit impatient, and like VC tends to have long time frames. We invest in funds, and they take like 10, 12, sometimes 15 years to actually show results. And so I'm just wondering, like, will we be able to demonstrate that it works, down the line in advance? Like, will we be able in 3 years or 5 years to already show KPIs that it matters? Because it matters so much, and we're going to have a lot of pressure demonstrating that it matters. And so the pressure for me is not, again, if it's going to, have results, because I'm sure it is, it's when. So yeah, that's what I would ask the future me, like, when does it actually demonstrate over performance? That would be great.
Well, amazing.
Y gracias a mujeres como ella, quizás el mundo sea un poco más diverso y mejor a futuro. Empezando por hoy. Reflexión final, que hoy estoy aquí contando cosas. ¿Cuántas personas no normativas que hayan triunfado tienes a tu alrededor? Y si las tienes, ¿son brillantes? Seguro que sí. ¿Y no sería genial que hubiese más? Hoy un amigo me recordaba algo que a veces se nos olvida. Las cuotas son una solución necesaria y temporal para generar oportunidades donde históricamente no las ha habido. Nadie pide que nos regalen nada, pero sí que abramos huecos y generemos esos dos espacios para que otras personas sí se puedan ver representadas y de esta manera puedan dar un paso al frente diciendo, si esa persona pudo, yo también. Y llegamos al final, una semana más, apoyando la diversidad hasta el fin del mundo y más allá. Y recuerda, inspírate, atrévete y cambia el mundo. Wof, wof.
Oh, no one does it.